So this is my final presentation for international business, and my name is Chelsea Austin. Some of my strengths and weaknesses. I'll start with my strengths because those are better, of course. So some of my strengths are that I'm outgoing, I'm friendly, and I try to be fun, or I think I'm pretty fun anyway. I'm driven, I'm usually pretty reliable, and I try to be understanding with everyone's situations, and I try not to judge and just try to be a good person overall. I also love to learn new things, so I'm not like, oh my gosh, yeah, I already know that. And then now for my weaknesses. My number one weakness is that I'm a huge procrastinator. I wait until the very last second to do everything. I don't know why, I just do. I definitely need to work on that. And then another one of my weaknesses is that I don't think before I speak most of the time. I just say what I'm thinking, and sometimes that doesn't always work out the best. So I also need to work on listening to actually hear people and not just to respond. And then I have a lot of road rage, especially in the mornings trying to get to work. And part of that is because of one of my other weaknesses that I'll talk about in just a second. Um, I'm on my phone a little too much. I need to get away from that. I'm always on social media and it just brings my mood down. And then I sometimes care what people think about me too much. I know that caring what people think about you is important as well, but it doesn't need to control your life. And I've kind of let it get out of hand. So I'm going to work on that as well. And then probably the worst one that I'm awful at is that I'm always late. Late to work like every single day. It's awful. Luckily, I have awesome bosses that haven't fired me yet, but I need to work on that, especially if I'm going to be a business owner and be professional because that's so unprofessional to show up late. To work on my weaknesses and build up my strengths a little more, I need to surround myself with strong people that have strong leadership skills and people that are going to teach me things that I need to know. I also need to be around dedicated individuals that are excited about what they're doing. Right now, I'm kind of just surrounded by people that don't really want to be doing what they're doing. They just feel stuck, like they're in a career they don't really like. And it kind of puts you in that same mood so that way you're not motivated to do what you need to do and further your education so that way you can go farther in your life. And then I put that I need to be around people that like to be outdoors more and off their phones just so that way I can get away from social media a little more, kind of relax in life and stop caring what everyone thinks, just live my life and be happy. Um, I put that calming people might help me with my road rage and thinking about what I say before I speak. And then I definitely need to be around people that are tentative and care what time they show up and that they're early and that being late is a big deal. So I'm definitely going to work on that. And now for my project. So I decided to do a project on opening a dance studio in Australia because I also did my last project on doing business in Australia. Now for the why. So I originally chose Australia because it's a country that also speaks majority English, and then, as I said in my last presentation as well, um, Australia has a few words that change, and they just have a super laid back attitude, and I think it would be super cool to go there and live there. And then also I chose to open a dance studio because in high school I was a dancer and most of my life I've danced. So I definitely have the experience and the technical background for it. These photos that I'm showing now are photos from my high school dance season. I didn't have time to find enough of like my childhood photographs, I guess. Now, this corner in the bottom, this photo in the bottom right-hand corner is a picture of a group of girls that I got to mentor for a summer. I guess it wasn't even a whole summer, just like a couple weeks out of the summer. It was a dance camp that we did with them, and we got to further their technical background in dance, and we taught them a little dance and they got to perform it at a football game. It was super fun. And I think that would just be great to share my knowledge of the sport with little girls and mentor them and let them know that they can be whatever they want to be and just give them a safe place to be at after school. Now, things to know. I put on here, you definitely have to know your industry. So for instance, mine would be a dance studio, and being that I do have the technical background, I can teach different variations of dance like hip hop and lyrical and jazz and ballet and even do some competition pieces. My ultimate goal would be to have other instructors that work for me as well, so that way I get a good variety of choreographers. And then the next thing you need to know about doing business in a foreign country is the business culture that you're going to be working in and establishing yourself in. Now, Australia's business culture is very laid back, and they don't want you to be like up in their face, like, oh, I'm the best, this is the best dance studio you can ever be at. They just want you to prove it more than anything and do what you say you're going to. You need to know your client basis. So if you're going to be coaching the organic, like no sugar soccer moms, then don't bring brownies to your dance class practice because the moms will be very mad and then they will probably stop bringing your children to them. The next thing you need to know is location, location, location. Don't put your dance studio in like an area that doesn't get very much traffic going to that area, I guess, because then whenever you're advertising, no one's going to know where you're at. And you might just have to look around where the foreign country that you're looking at and explore a little bit before you just set down your roots and say, I'm opening my business here. Definitely explore and get a good idea of where the most foot traffic is and where you'll get the best business. So the steps to take that you need to take to start doing business in Australia, like what I'm going to be doing, you need to, first of all, do your research, see if you need to get a visa to travel there or if you just need your passport. In my instance, I would probably need a visa and then go there, and I would travel at least for 2 or 3 weeks and really get a good feel of which area you'd want to be in. It might even take several trips of 2 or 3 weeks and just exploring the country to see which state or province is best for you and where you feel most comfortable, where you really want to live and settle down, because starting a business isn't just something you can do in a couple months and then be like, oh, actually, I want to move over here. Because once you set up your client base, you want to stay there and be reliable. Once you have done your research and filed your paperwork to get your visa or your passport or whatever you need to do to go to that country and explore, then you need to do some more research into how you go about starting your business and setting it up with the government and moving there and becoming a citizen. In my instance, the Australian government is really on board with having US citizens come in and starting up businesses or taking over businesses. So they have a lot of really good resources on their website of how to get started. They even require businesses to keep journals. I'm not sure if they're journals or more of like instructions on how to take over the business if you're purchasing that business that's already established in Australia, and how to manage the books and transfer it over into your name. And then once you file your paperwork to become a citizen or live there temporarily until you can establish citizenship, you need to begin establishing your business. So you need to work on getting a lease in Australia where you've decided the location will be best for you. And then you also need to begin advertising your business so that way clients start coming in and they start hearing your name on the streets and they want to know more about you and what kind of business you're doing. So for my instance, it would be what kind of dance do you teach? Are you going to be competitive or not? What are the ages you'll teach? And then once you start advertising and getting your name out there, you'll start establishing your client base and it will just keep growing. And the more word of mouth you can get, the better. I once heard that the best advertising is word of mouth. So whether you do bad or good, people are going to know because they tell everyone. And then after you establish your client base, you just become a successful, continue to grow. And that's my presentation. So go out there and do it. Never give up on your dream. As this class has taught me, you can go anywhere in the world and be a successful business owner if you just do your research and follow the laws. Thank you.